Welcome to Legends of the Flame, where guardian dragons watch over the night, and every story is told in calm and quiet light. But guardian dragons do not belong to the night alone. Some rise with the morning sun, some drift through quiet dreams, and some appear only in the final glow of evening. And tonight, we will meet one of them. There is a quiet moment between sunset and full night, when the sky turns deep violet and the first stars begin to appear. The world grows softer then. The wind slows, the birds return to their nests, the colors of the day slowly fade into shadow. And for just a few gentle minutes, the world seems to pause. That moment belongs to him, the Twilight Warden. His scales are deep indigo and muted violet, softly illuminated along their edges with silver light. His wings stretch wide like the quiet sky itself, their vast surfaces catching the final light of day. When he moves through the evening air, he does not stir storms or thunder. Instead, he moves like drifting mist, silent, measured, steady. His eyes shine like the very first star seen at dusk. Ancient, patient, watching. He stands between worlds, not day, not night, but the bridge between them. The Twilight Warden has existed since the earliest turning of the skies, when the first sunsets touched the mountains and rivers of the world. In those ancient times, the guardians learned that change could be frightening to those who walked beneath the heavens. Morning brought hope, night brought rest, but twilight brought uncertainty. And so, the Twilight Warden took his place, a silent protector of the in-between. For it is in these quiet transitions that hearts often feel the most uncertain. Children adjusting to new schools, families settling into unfamiliar homes, hearts stepping into new seasons of life. Moments when the path ahead is not yet fully clear. The Twilight Warden watches over those moments. He does not command change. He does not rush transformation. Instead, he steadies it. When confusion rises like mist across the mind, he clears it gently. Not by removing the unknown, but by revealing just enough light to see the next step forward. When uncertainty feels overwhelming, he dims the noise of the world. The worries, the rushing thoughts, the endless questions. And in that quiet, the path begins to reveal itself. There is a quiet story, often told among the old forest towns of the north. Long ago, a young girl named Alira stood at the edge of a small village path. Her family had just arrived after a long journey across the mountains. Everything felt unfamiliar. The homes were different. The voices were different. Even the wind through the trees sounded strange. As the sun began to set that evening, Illyria walked quietly outside the small cottage her family had been given. The sky had begun to turn violet. Soft stars appeared above the distant hills, and the world had grown very still. She stood there for a long moment, unsure of what tomorrow would bring. New faces, new places, new questions. And in that quiet uncertainty, she felt the evening air shift. Above the distant hills, far beyond the village rooftops, something moved across the twilight sky. Not fast, not loud, but slowly and gracefully. A great shape of indigo wings passed silently across the fading light. Its scales shimmered softly like distant starlight, and its eyes, calm and ancient, looked down upon the quiet world below. The Twilight Warden. Illyria did not feel fear. Instead, she felt something else. A quiet steadiness, as though the world itself was whispering gently, "You are exactly where you are meant to be." The great dragon drifted slowly across the twilight sky, circling once above the distant hills. Then he disappeared beyond the growing night. But the feeling remained, a calm understanding that change did not need to be rushed, that every journey, no matter how uncertain it may seem, unfolds one step at a time. And Illyria was not the only one who had ever seen him. Far across the western seas, sailors once told of an evening when their ship drifted through waters as calm as glass. The sun had just fallen beyond the horizon, leaving the sky glowing with deep violet purple. The crew stood quietly along the wooden rails, watching the first stars appear above the ocean. Then one of them pointed upward. Far above the mast, something vast moved silently through the twilight sky. Wings wider than the ship itself, scales reflecting the fading light of evening, the Twilight Warden glided across the heavens like a living shadow of the dusk. For a moment, the sailors simply watched, and though they had been lost at sea for many days, their fear seemed to fade. The path home would reveal itself, as it always did. And even now, the Twilight Warden continues his watch. Every evening, as the sky deepens into violet and silver, he moves silently across the horizon, watching, guiding, holding the quiet balance between what has ended and what is about to begin. If you ever step outside at twilight and feel the world pause, as though everything is holding a quiet breath, that is him, keeping balance, holding the space between. The Twilight Warden, guardian of transitions, watcher of becoming. And as the night grows still, the guardians continue their watch, and their light remains with you until morning. If you enjoy calm dragon legends and quiet guardian stories, subscribe to Legends of the Flame and return again for another tale from the realms where the dragons still watch.